To YouTube. Alright, so in this video I wanted to talk about the political wildcards of 2016 that you need to watch for. And, so what do I mean when I talk about a political wildcard? What I'm talking about is big developments that won't necessarily affect the course of the election in real terms, like whether or not somebody votes for somebody or not, but will have a big effect on the perceived momentum that's ex-candidate is experiencing in the media. So the first big political wildcard is the Elizabeth Warren endorsement. Now, every single progressive out there, true progressive, and is a huge fan of Elizabeth Warren, both sides of the Democratic Party. If you're a Bernie guy or you're a Hillary supporter, you love Elizabeth Warren. That's just goes without saying. That endorsement, most people expect that she's gonna go with Bernie Sanders. The Sanders campaign has teased a possible VP run, picking her as a VP, which would be incredible. So there's that. The reason why I said that this particular endorsement is a big wildcard is that she hasn't endorsed him yet. Now, I have said in a previous video that if she is going to endorse him, I expect that she's going to do it before Iowa. Reason being, she wants to do it when it will have the biggest political impact, and that would be a pretty huge one. And it's also a very shrewd decision, because basically she'd get to see how he performs in New Hampshire and then go off of that and piggyback off of that to give him. She could do it earlier, but I think doing it before Iowa would make the most sense. There is also the possibility that she may not endorse Bernie and she might endorse Hillary, which would just absolutely just demoralize the hell out of a lot of people, but temporarily. Because the thing about Bernie supporters that the media just doesn't understand, and the DNC just doesn't understand, is Bernie Sanders supporters, they get defeated, they get frustrated, they get depressed, and then they get angry, and then they come back strong, and they come back swinging. Now, if Elizabeth Warren does endorse Hillary, you have to understand what's happening behind the scenes. Right now, the campaigns are really fighting for that endorsement, because that's key. Hillary and her campaign is promising all kinds of shit to her, and probably making, not so veiled threats about what will happen if she goes the other way. Carrot and the stick. And if you look at the political wisdom, people still believe that Hillary is going to win this thing, and that Bernie has no chance. So you have to keep that in the back of your mind. The second huge political wildcard is Barack Obama, the Obama endorsement. Now, of course, we all believe that Obama, of course, would endorse Hillary. Obviously, that's an easy choice. The reason why this is now a political wildcard and a potential toss-up is that Obama has started hinting that he may not endorse Hillary. Now, he could be doing this just to troll us, but I don't think that's what it is. I think it's literally just as simple as this. Barack Obama despite all his good accomplishments and his faults, is a politician, and he's your standard issue politician. He is not going to go or take a very, very courageous stand, or one that has a lot of political risks. He's not going to bet on a losing horse. And if it becomes blatantly obvious that Bernie is going to be the winning horse, he's going to jump on that wagon. He's not going to go, back in Hillary. And you have to understand that because of that, and because of the success of the Sanders campaign and of the grassroots movement, that endorsement could potentially go either way. That's also a very, very, very big development. Now, what that means for Bernie Sanders supporters is the superdelegates are now a political wild card. We all thought that all 20% of the superdelegate vote was a sure thing for Hillary. If Bernie continues to perform the way how he is, I'm not so sure that those superdelegates are all going to go for Hillary. Which brings me to the final political wild card, Debbie Wasserman Schultz and the DNC. And this right here is the biggest problem that we face, not only as Bernie Sanders supporters, not only as Democrats, but as people who care about democracy in general. Debbie Wasserman Schultz is going to go down in history as perhaps the very first party leader who was more willing to watch her party lose the election rather than see her favorite candidate not get chosen by the people. This is the definition of insanity. She has done everything that she can to sabotage Democrats and to prevent people from seeing their message. And she has allowed right-wing propaganda to go unanswered 3-1 on primetime television. And the effects of that cannot be underestimated or understated. Donald Trump was able to pull and fill a football stadium in Massachusetts. Blue liberal stronghold, Massachusetts. That's a really, really big problem. And the only person to blame for that is Debbie Wasserman Schultz and the DNC. Their decision to restrict debates and to let the right-wing nonsense go unanswered and to give Trump and the GOP complete dominance over the media and the media narrative has consequences, and it's going to be an uphill battle for whoever gets nominated. Bernie Sanders, at least in my estimation, is the only one that can win in the clusterfuck of a situation that Debbie has created. Win the general election. And that's why we have to get out the vote, get people to register and show up and vote in the primaries, because he has to be the nominee. If it isn't, you mark my words, we're going to see a President Trump. So anyway, that's all I had to share. Let me know what you think. Also, I've joined up with Berniacs of Action. Look them up on Facebook, like them, and yeah, get involved. We're gonna do this. Feel the burn.